All right, so I'm out here with the Cadu. Let's see if I can come up with a good name for this. Just thinking that. And we didn't even try and start it at the place. The guy said he was driving it last year and the motor just locked up and motor was seized up. So I know sometimes if a bearing goes bad enough, the two bearings will come around and they'll stack on top of each other and it'll bind the motor right up. So sometimes you can get them started like one more time by getting the motor to turn backwards and getting the bearings to come apart from each other, and then get the momentum of the starter to come around and pop the bearing free, and it won't be right. Motor's trash anyway, and get it to fire. So maybe I could get it off the trailer. We've done it in the past with other cars. But I hopped up there, I put my hand on the fan blade, grabbed the tension, the belt with my other hand, and pulled it the other way, and the motor's turning. So it's not locked up solid. But I pulled the dipstick just out of curiosity. You gotta see how thick and dirty this oil is. Look at the hang on that. That is some nasty oil. That is thick and black. It's like pooling in the napkin. Look at that. That, I think, is the thickest oil I've ever seen. Let's give it a fresh dip, shall we? Oh yeah, look at that. That is some bad oil. Let's see, can we get another good hang on that? Oh yeah, there it goes. Oh yeah. Wow, that is impressive how nasty that is. So, unfortunately, I brought my good battery with me so I could leave the lights on this for the whole ride back, because I was traveling in the dark, in the fog. It was brutal last night. So I wanted to leave the lights on in the car, the parking lights, so the rear had more visibility, because this thing's black and it was pitch black out last night. But I killed the battery. So I have the booster pack going on, the battery charger going on it right now. Trying to cook it down a little bit, and then I do have my booster pack there, which I think is charged. So I think I'm going to try and hook up the booster pack and just see if it'll spin at all, but I know that battery is pretty good. So let me get that set up, put this somewhere where it's not going to get on me. Alright, so all these connections are loose where the wires go into these replacement battery terminals here, so we're just going to lock these down a little bit. And I'll try and remember to show you the crazy catch can setup that's down here for probably all the blow-by that this motor used to have, or has, whichever. Alright, so we got the battery charger on it, and now we'll put the battery booster on it also. And the rain is kicking up again, which the rain had died down, but I was making a few phone calls. So I kind of burnt my bridge there for the time frame. And the parking light's back on. burnt up the switch leaving it on all night. I mean, that's the whole ride. Okay, so that's at very least going to have to charge some more. And unfortunately, I don't want to disconnect the truck to turn it around to get the jumper cables on it. So let me let that charge and figure it out. All right, so sometimes you have tools and like favorite tools and equipment and just different stuff that like, you know it, you love it, you remember where you got it from. If you look, the booster pack and my little charger down there wasn't enough to spin this thing over because this battery is super dead. But then if you look, it's some jumper cables here. I think those are 0 gauge, maybe. But if you look, they're long enough to get to the front of my truck, all the way to this car on the trailer. These things, we usually start almost everything. This thing, battery's stone dead, and this thing's a dinosaur. The starter on this thing is probably 4 times the size of the starter in the truck. But anyway, these jumper cables, I bought a parts Jeep off of Freddy's Auto Body out of their tow yard. And I think I bought it for the front seats for mine. And then when I got it, I went in the back, and these jumper cables were there, brand new in the box. And that was probably 20 years ago. And I still have them perfect. And I have an old laptop case over there. I roll them up in, keeps them nice and safe, and take care of them. Those things are the cat's pajamas. So let's see if they'll do anything to crank this thing right away, or if we're still going to have to wait. We're probably still going to have to wait a little while for it to charge up, because I just hooked them up. Hang on. It's turning, but I don't know if you heard that or not. That don't sound good. Let's see what happens. This thing hasn't been started, and he said it locked up like a year ago. So let me climb in there, but I don't think this thing's gonna start, let alone get fuel up there fast enough to be able to stop. See what happens. Did you hear that? It spun, and then it stopped. Yeah, she's locked up. She is locked up tight. I did load up a bunch of deep sockets and a ratchet to take with me yesterday in case I was going to try and get it on there, to try and get it onto the truck. Try and break it free. Bigger than that. 13/16. That was an 11/16. There we go. That'll do. Did I mention it's super oily in there? It's super oily. My guess is this thing broke a rod, and the rod is floating around in there. He did say it was locked up, so he didn't misrepresent it, that's for sure. Oh wow, that thing locked up tight. Okay, so I'm going to say this thing is not going to run. Yep, that's it. She's not going to run. But that's the funky breather tube setup he's got going on down there. The coffee can has like almost cardboard looking stuff in. Oh, I think it's a stack of napkins wrapped around it. And I'm guessing where there's no oil fill up here. Come on, get up there. Sorry, camera angle's all wrong. If there's no oil fill cap here and there's a random fat hose, that gets shoved into there for all the blow by to come out of there. Pretty funny. Well, that was a little bit of a letdown. I was like, when it turned over, I was like, maybe it'll fire up. Maybe something just got in the way of the starter. But yeah, that was pretty bad. So I guess I got to work on just getting this thing to roll off safely without going through and knocking down what's left of the garage. Oh boy, let's figure it out. All right, so I got a tow strap hooked to the front of the trailer and the front control arm, and it should stop me before I crash into the ride-on lawnmower. It might have some brakes, and I got it jacked up by the jack. It's kind of going downhill just a crumb. Hopefully I can push it off because it's got like bars right there, so I gotta get it over those and then inside before it starts coming down, because the door will hit that edge of that ramp, the fender. The door will come down and hit that if I don't get in and stop it fast enough or shut the door fast enough. So wish me luck. There's a lot that can go wrong right here. safety. Now let's see how bad it has no brakes. And if I'm just going to go ripping to the end of the cable, the tow strap. Oh, feels like it has something. That was pretty anticlimactic. And I knew this board was going to break, by the way. The car weighs 5,000 pounds. Alright, pack up the trailer, swap out these pants that keep falling down, go return the trailer, drop off Riley, but she's on the ground, and nobody got hurt. Yeah, the key thing is that nobody got hurt, mainly meaning me not getting hurt, but also the car not getting hurt, or the trailer not getting hurt. That's a win, even though it was a struggle and I look like a bumbling idiot trying to do it. But the driveway goes downhill a good amount, so I'm battling and working along. Right, so that's it for today. It's off. It got a real rough hand bath. You'll probably be wondering why I was wearing work gloves while washing it. I have had way too many incidences where washing with just like a rag and bare hands and coming across a edge of a molding that's peeled up or a rust edge or something like that. So when I don't know the cars, I always leave gloves on if I can while I'm washing it. That way there I can be really careless and not really pay attention to where my hand's flying. It's just that extra layer of protection. But it had all kinds of rubbing compound sprayed on it from something else and whatnot, so it was looking extra grungy. Not that it makes it look that much better, but it makes it a little bit better. And a little bit better is still better. Look at that thing. That thing looks mint. Absolutely mint. And I don't know if you'll be able to see or not. But there you go. You can see all the speckles. I don't know if it was compound or if somebody like sprayed a house beside it or something like that. But there is compound everywhere. Like there's all compound up in here and stuff. And then the roof is all like weird stains from some sort of strange top that was on it probably. But that's okay, because the whole thing's going to get painted anyway when I'm done with it. But that's it. So this is where you get the good and the bad. I mean, I've seen worse jobs done. Like, it's just like the body peeks out, the doors don't peek out, which would have taken a lot more work. But the guy got it done. And touching on that is this, supposedly it had a tree fall on it that crushed in the trunk lid, I think part of the quarter, the package tray, blew out the back window, and might even damage the roof and whatnot. So that, I believe, is why he just said, screw it, let me do this. And if you really look at this thing, you could pick it apart a million ways from Sunday. But this guy, he got it done. He was out driving the wheels off of it till the motor seized up, and he had fun with it. It was a broken car. He went through, did all the brakes, tires, seat upholstered. I think he did the door panels. He wrapped the dash to make it look a little bit better, and probably a bunch of other stuff. And then did all the work there and painted it because it wasn't black originally. And I think he even painted the jams. Yeah, the jams are all black. I'll have to find the data sheet and see if it was black originally or not. But painted it, got it back on the road. He had a blast with it. So, I mean, if somebody wanted to do something like this right by sending it to a shop, it could be locked up for a few years trying to get that done and done nicely. So I'm crazy, so I'm going to try and do it nicely. But it will have a better life.